run the business part of the meeting. And I'm just going to wait till we have quorum from Rick before we take any actions, please. So Rick, would you notify us when we have quorum, please?
Yes. You have quorum.
Hey, Rick, I just want to verify we have quorum to proceed.
Yes.
Meeting is called to order at 3:01 p.m. Due to Chris's absence, she's dealing with her mother who's had a protracted stay in the hospital and potentially is being discharged today. All of this stuff sort of came down in the last 3 hours. So in order for us to proceed, I suggest we make a modification to the agenda. Rick, can you bring the agenda up, please? Thank you, Rick.
That? Okay, thank you.
With Chris's absence, we're going to have to modify the agenda, which would include the following things: removal of item 4, then removal of items 7 and 8, because that was a discussion Chris wanted to lead for the 3:30. And item 8 would need to be removed because we're not going into closed session at all. So our agenda would essentially be modified to include items 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9. Is there any concerns with the body regarding modifying the agenda with the removal of items 4, 7, and 8? Thank you. Hearing none, using Finney's words, I suggest that we go ahead and modify the agenda. However, we need to approve the modified agenda. Any other questions regarding the modified agenda? Hearing none, the modified agenda is approved. The next item of business for the Senate to take care of today on January 30th is the approval of the November 28, 2023 meeting minutes. Thank you, Rick. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to approve it. I'll let Rick scroll through and then ask for approval when he's done. Any modifications or changes to the minutes from the January meeting? Hearing none, the minutes are approved. The next item on our agenda is the consent agenda, which has to do with curricular changes. There's several of them. So Rick, if you'd bring up the list, please, for us. Rick, is that the entire document, or is there a few more after renewable energy?
No, that is it.
Okay, thank you. I
Sure.
just remember seeing there was a full page. Since it's a consent agenda, any items for discussion? Hearing none, the curricular changes are approved. Using the modified agenda, Chris said she will give her faculty senate's report next time. So I just want everybody to wish her well in the challenge she's going through with her mother. If you have a chance to see her or email her, please do so. I just want to just be thankful for her leadership and allowing us to kind of continue in her absence. The next item on the agenda is a presentation by Laura Burton from the Health Science Center from Rio Rancho with regards to the new pre-health scholar certificate. This is an action item, which means we'll need to have motions and vote on it after the presentation from Laura. Rick, is Laura in the meeting at this point?
Yes.
Okay. Laura, you have the floor to present on the new pre-health scholars certificate. I just want to be a reminder that we're trying to keep our items to our agenda in terms of time. So hopefully a presentation of 7 minutes with a few minutes for questions afterward would be greatly appreciated.
That is fine. Absolutely. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone for taking the time to hear about the program and to consider it for approval for a graduate certificate. So the need is based for the certificate is based on the fact that professional health programs are increasingly utilizing holistic reviews in their admissions processes. Basically, they're looking for students who are not only strong in STEM, but also in humanities. Another way of thinking of it is we all want health professionals who can deal with our health issue, but that can also connect with us and communicate in ways that are culturally competent, empathetic, and compassionate. If you're like me, I've had some health interactions, I would say that didn't happen, right? So we're wanting to continue to improve that in the health field. The curriculum was designed with input from UNM Health Sciences professional health programs, where they identified areas of weakness and challenges that they see in applicants to their programs, as well as their incoming students, and identifying some common themes across those, across the programs that also fell within the humanities. This program was developed around that. The curriculum was developed around that. It's a unique program. There's not anything like this in the country that really focuses exclusively on the humanities, culture, humility, critical thinking, communication skills, specifically for incoming health professionals. You can change slide, please. So the program, the certificate program consists of 5 courses, 15 credit hours. It's a cohorted program. It's completed within 1 year. So the 3 courses that are offered in the fall build on each other and allow an interaction and interplay amongst the content so that students are allowed and able to transfer knowledge and really apply across the courses. The spring courses, the 2 that are offered in the spring, build upon the 3 courses in the fall, build upon and expand and go deeper in these areas, applying knowledge and developing very specific skills. The courses are taught in a seminar format, very focused on engagement, reflection, and deep reflection, application, discussion, and skill development, as well as experiential learning. The 5 courses in the program, I don't think I have listed in my syllabus, but I'll just go through them. I mean, in my PowerPoint, I'll just go through them real quickly here. The first course, culture and meaning making around health and illness, integrating psychology and medicine, critical thinking and problem solving in healthcare, communication and action, and observational learning. So the first 3 that I identified are courses that are offered in the fall. The other 2 are the communication, action, and observational learning are in the spring. Again, all 5 courses really designed to be building upon each other and integrated. The communication action focuses very much on specific communication skill development, motivational interviewing, focus on writing skills, interviewing skills for program applications, as well as interpersonal provider-patient type communication skills as well. It really is designed to provide a foundation for inclusive, culturally competent, and compassionate healthcare practice. So really trying to capture these students prior to entering these rigorous professional health programs, with providing this kind of real foundation in a deep experiential way. The reality is some of these things, such as critical thinking or communication, it's not like the first time students have ever been exposed to it, but we seek to really capture them prior to enter these programs when they have the bandwidth to really develop those skills and really dig in and reflect and grow in these areas. So the potential students, so this certificate program was approved as an undergraduate certificate. We've had last year was the first pilot year in that undergraduate certificate program as a 400 level. And the majority of students that applied and who participated were actually post-bac students. So really the potential students for this graduate certificate are those post-baccalaureate students, including new graduates, students who are unsuccessful at applying to the program. So as you may know, School of Medicine, as well as the other programs, have a very high return rate of students reapplying to programs. So this certificate gives the students an opportunity to really do something meaningful to build out and strengthen their application and their skills for reapplying. Also for students planning a gap year. So some students graduate and then they want to spend a year building experiences and knowledge and strengthening their application prior to applying to programs. So this is also great for them, as well as students who might be interested in changing careers or their degrees. So the focus then would make this, the goal would make this a 400/500 level certificate. So students would have both opportunities because for the first pilot year, all the students who were post-bac students, they were taking it as an undergraduate certificate. So the 5 courses showed up on their transcripts as having been completed and with their grade, but the certificate itself for the post-bacs last year did not show up. Approving this as a graduate certificate with an increased rigor would allow students then to also get it as a certificate on their transcripts. So change slide, please. So obviously the outcomes, obviously, I've already kind of mentioned it, really trying to give our students opportunities to strengthen their applications, making them more competitive, making their applications more robust, especially focusing on the humanities side. All the UNM health professions, professional health programs are very interested and excited about the potential for contributing a foundation for their upcoming students. And so the admissions committee for School of Medicine is aware of this certificate program, and when they are looking at applications, it's something that will stand out to them as an added strength to applications. We also focus on specific tools for strengthening students' potential for success in these programs. We work on wellness strategies as well as study strategies and that sort as well. And then again, focusing on that cultural humility and very specific communication skills. The budget was developed with the Health Sciences Budget Office, And we identified that at 13 students in a cohort, we would meet our expenses. So it allows us to then grow the program. And then next slide, please. So I wanted to provide this just to give a little bit of qualitative perspective on the program. This is a quote from a student from our first year pilot program last year, and then also these pictures. So I want to talk just briefly about the pictures. So this is an example of some of the in-field experiences that the students have. So this particular one, we took the students up to the Navajo Nation about 2 hours north of Gallup, where the students, we did an overnight in the home of a guest, their home on the Navajo Nation. Students slept in sleeping bags, did the amazing experience for them was we sitting around a campfire, hearing stories from our host about their own experiences and their own cultural perspectives. They spoke about some of the generational experiences, some of the generational trauma, but also talking about the assets and the value of their culture and how that builds wellness for themselves personally, but also their community. Such a deeply experiential experience for these students, a real learning experience. The one picture there is we got to participate in a corn planting ceremony in the private hogan of the family that was hosting us. And then we then, as you see in the center there, we participated in traditional Navajo corn planting ceremony and process, helping them with planting the corn. And also then the picture there of doing listening sessions and really, really impacting students in a deep way that hopefully with the goal will carry with them through their lifetime. So I just want to read briefly a little, some of this quote, because I just think it gives a well-rounded perspective. She says, "I have gained invaluable critical thinking and interpersonal communication skills that have positively altered the way I interact with others and the way I approach my studies. The material encouraged the pursuit of deep reflection that ultimately enhanced my overall sense of belonging and allowed me to gain meaningful perspective, which I will carry with me throughout the course of my personal and professional life. I feel deeply honored to have been a part of the pilot cohort, and we recommend this program to any student considering a career in healthcare." So we're really focused on making this kind of impact that will carry with them to improve healthcare delivery for these future health professionals. So I appreciate your time and consideration and listening. Also, if any of you are interested in helping with recruiting students to this program as potential health professional students, happy to talk with you about that, and then happy to take any questions. And I see there's some in the chat. Let me open my chat here.
That was my next question. You have a question in the chat for you.
Yes, thank you. So our target is 20 to 25 students because of the type of engagement. We're looking at right now, the idea is to cap the cohort at 25. Is there a preference for New Mexican students from rural areas, first-gen students? Not at this time. We don't have a selection process for that at this time. Right now, the idea was well, right now we're not full. So the idea is to kind of do a first come, first serve, but I think that's a very important consideration that we need to consider. Right now, the only students we have are New Mexico students applying, but I think as this program really gains ground, and it is like I said, it's a unique program nationally, there's nothing like it. I do think that as we start getting applications for students outside New Mexico, that we would want to prioritize New Mexico students just as School of Medicine does as well. So this campus right now, that's an excellent question. Thank you. I should have clarified that. This is a Health Sciences Rio Rancho campus initiative. So the courses are held in person here at the Rio Rancho campus.
Ann Waldorf, you have a question? I see your hand up.
Yeah, Laura, I think this is a great program and might save some of us some work down the road. So my only question is, given how data is really important, have you embedded any sort of statistical evaluation to look at the three objectives that you outlined?
Thank you for that question. I met with, prior to our first cohort, I met with the provost's office and talked with, I can't remember her name that I spoke with there, but we talked about how to do program evaluation. Her recommendation was retrospective surveys. So I have developed a pretty robust retrospective survey that we completed after the first cohort, and still needing to run the statistics off of that. But just looking at it, it's pretty robust responses.
And
Thank
there's
you for that
also
question.
additional question in the chat. I'll just read it to you.
Oh, sorry.
Is this primarily for medical students? Question mark from Faculty Senate Roberta
Thank
Lather.
you. Thank you for that question. So I did speak several times about the School of Medicine, but it is not the explicit goal is to be prepare students for all of the professional health programs. So whether they're going into planning to go to School of Medicine, College of Pharmacy also contributed very significantly to input on the program. PT program did as well. A couple other programs as well. So it's really, the idea is health science, health professional programs across the board, not just medical school. In fact, I have one student in this current cohort that is planning to go to the College of Population Health. So,
Are there any other questions?
is there a link we can share? Yes, let me send you, I will send you the, I'll put it in the chat here, a copy of the brochure, which then has the link information in there. I'll put that in the chat. And then I'll also put my email in here. If anybody has any further questions or would like to talk about, I'm happy to come talk to students to help, to build recruitment. And thank you for that comment. And I'll put once I figure out, I don't see the option to put an attachment in here, so I'll send it to Rick to share.
Please do. Okay. Faculty Senators, this is an action item. Thank you, Laura, for the presentation on your new
Thank you.
program. Are there any other questions or discussion items before we move to a vote? Hearing none, Rick, we have a poll for this because this is an action item. Would you please post the poll? Laura, we're just going to wait for the poll to populate and give us a few about 30 seconds or so, please. And Rick will report the results once he's got enough votes. He can see it.
Okay, it's approved.
Thank you, Rick.
42,
Congratulations. Go ahead.
4 and 3 abstain.
Sorry to talk over you, Rick.
Oh, that's
Thank
okay.
you. And Rick, I'm sending this to you right now so that you can share with the group, because it looks like the chat does not allow me to attach. So
Okay,
I'll send the
will do.
brochure. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you all. Have a great day.
Thank you, Laura, for presenting.
Thank you.
All right. Senators, using our modified agenda, that is our last action item. Rick, are there any public comments today, please?
No.
There are none. Okay. Since our agenda is exhausted, we are ready to move to the item number 9. Just a reminder that some of the stuff that we modified today will pick up in the February agenda. So be on the lookout for things from Chris to help get that set up for that discussion and stuff like that. Any other questions before we adjourn? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
John, thanks for stepping up.
Thank you. Thanks, Ezra. Have a great day.